小さな町の小さな火事場よこそ遥かな道の旅へ今飛び込む新たな地は混乱絶望挫折だらけそんな脆弱な装備で旅立つつもりなのか君は誰に似合う箱君は誰を守るため君戦える羽 Please don't let me Oh ののしは継ぐライフは一つリセット変わらない排水の陣で駆け抜けろそれぞれ胸の中携えた譲れない想いそいつを武器に Fight feel down inside of you何度も道に迷いそれでも顔を上げて転んだ部分だけ経験値を積んでいけ Build the down, 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 Build the dust, move up, move up Build the shit for you, いただきはうまくなっていけライフは一つセーブ変わらない死ね嘘かでも切り抜けろそれぞれ胸の中携えた譲れない想いそいつを武器に Fight me down right now しがらみのダンジョン歌弱が矛となれ荒波のダンジョン歌弱が盾となれ Sing aloud Sing aloud Sing aloud Let's sing it aloud名もなき町の小さな港よこそ勇者よ次のステージへライフは一つリセット変わらない排水の陣で駆け抜けろ今始まるストーリー燃えたぎる想いを歌えそいつが武器だ Fight with your weakness Move the junk, Move the dust, move up, move up Move the junk, boy,いただきをうまくなっていけ
Good evening and welcome back to the my dwarven fortress of Esmulrakust, where yes, we had. So I'm just reading a summary that someone else has just written of my previous encounter. Where yes, we last session, just as we thought everything was being very calm, an elven ambush turned up, and more or less. Just as we were beginning to get the hang of that, a goblin siege turned up, albeit with unusually a commander who was not described as competent. And then the consequence of that was actually that the elves and the goblins mostly fought one another, while the dwarves just hid inside. But then a forgotten beast turned up. and it was a forgotten beast that breathed deadly dust. And yes, it was quite deadly. Essentially, we had the two war dogs at the entrance to the fortress got breathed on and died fairly rapidly from that, as did 2 or 3 dwarves, I think. Happily not our bolt thrower operators, who were the ones who killed it. I mean, it was made of crystal glass, which made it like fairly soft, which was nice. But it did, yes, we do now have several dead dwarves here. Not that one apparently. Whose bodies are coated with Gosm Sex Dive Mind, the ooze of ores frozen extract. Yes. Diziat points out that that crystal glass is, of course, not soft; it's hard. But nonetheless, if you hit it with an iron crossbow bolt travelling at whatever speed our bolt throwers can emit crossbow bolts at, it breaks. So, despite being quite big and made of something quite hard, it was nonetheless adequately fragile. That it got to about here in the entrance to this to the lower part of the fortress. But unfortunately, I think actually when it died, it exploded in a great big cloud of dust, and I think that might have killed someone. Yes, and certainly, happily, we don't seem to have got any contamination spreading through other people disposing of the bodies and such. So yes, the deadly dust it appeared to cause, after a short time, it caused serious bleeding, and people basically bled to death quite rapidly within, like, not even enough time to get back to the hospital. But yeah, as far as I can see, none of the dust is lying around on the floor. I have checked. And I checked the people who were carrying the bodies up to be disposed of, and none of them were had any dust on them. I mean, I thought they'd probably be okay because dwarves mostly wear gloves, but I might then have needed to dispose of the gloves for safety. But no, as far as we can tell, yes, we lost. I think that's 1 dwarf lost to the elves and 4 dwarves lost to the exploding forgotten beast, something like that. And 4 is quite a lot more than I would like to lose to a forgotten beast, but it was a relatively scary forgotten beast. Right, so we still have a lot of tidying up to do from this, from the goblins and the elves. So in particular, I should do the usual unforbidding of piles of objects that we might want to reclaim for our own use. Also spotting of, why is that not marked for dumping? Lots of random teeth around that we can now dispose of. Yes, I think we had, there's certainly a load of forbidden objects down there, aren't there? We had, hang on, what was I going to say? Yes, we did have some problems with the siege operators getting tangled up, getting turning up to their thing, turning up to their posts without armour and then getting shot. I think we've mostly... Are you... So yes, I named anyone who got contaminated with dust Dusty, and we will observe that here is someone whose corpse is contaminated with dust, but as far as I can see, the person carrying them is not going to be affected by that. Now everyone's going to fetch the spare clothes. So, yes. Oh, we need to put a new cover over this rubbish dump before people start falling into it, don't we? I mean, once we've finished disposing of the rubbish, obviously. Because the goblins came along and gratuitously destroyed the lid on the rubbish dump, which is a bit pointless. Like, you can't do anything down there. There's another random elf corpse that needs disposing of. Oh, good. Increasing the population again. Right, dispose of some more random teeth that people have left, or indeed legs. I mean, the name suggests dwarfishness, so that may be one of our dogs or something, but hey, still reasonable to get rid of it. Right. Yes, so I think some elves fell down here and and we went, well, we should try to extract that, but this is meant to be a kind of sealed building, except that it then turned out we'd left the roof open so that elves could fall into it. Maybe now we can close it up again. Hello, what's going on? Why are you not responding at this point? That's weird. It seems to be back again now. I don't know what Dwarf Fortress was playing at now. Dizzy asks, why do you have an elf oubliette? Well, we don't. It wasn't. Well, I mean, we do. It's here. And it's not really an oubliette so much as a corpse crusher. Meanwhile, Gareth suggests that the oubliette is where the Forgotten Beasts come from, which seems slightly more plausible. I mean, this is precisely the same thing that Dizzy was complaining about earlier. Why do you have a... Why do you have a special lounge for breaking into your fortress through, which is now an elf oubliette? Well, let's. The Kias have turned up again and are probably going to steal some more of our stuff. Let's at least build some of the floor over the elf oubliette. No, that's a wall, Ben. That's not a floor. Let's try again. Anyway, apparently a human caravan has arrived, which is fine. They can probably sell us cheese. We can sell them totems because that's the thing that this fortress sells. Because elves keep turning up bringing leopards and tigers and such, and the goblins keep turning up bringing cave dragons. Seb asks, how are the dogs? Fewer, I think, because 2 of them were killed by the Forgotten Beast. They were male at least, so like they didn't reduce our useful breeding stock. But yes, we have 4 live war dogs at the moment, and 3 puppies, it looks like. Which is not as many as we would like. And oh no, there's a tame dog which we can't train for war as well. We do have a war lion though, and a war grizzly, and a war leopard. Why are you sleeping there? You have your own bedroom. Why don't you go and sleep in your bedroom? I mean, yes, you're a doctor, but... probably also haul a small amount of oh yes, musical instruments. Where do we have temples? Because temples are a place where people like to have musical instruments. Like there's a dance floor, but it doesn't have a chest in it. Yes, we should put a chest in that temple, if we have any. And then maybe it will get filled with musical instruments. Similarly, this is at least notionally a temple. I think there are a couple of other temples somewhere in the fortress. Oh, here comes a wagon. Possibly we should like try to arrange some more sensible wagon parking, because at the moment the wagons turn up and park in the middle of the corridor. Heh. See, the dwarves may be really relaxed about Kias. The visiting merchants, not so much. They don't like having their stock nicked. So now, 1 chest in common area. So now are people going to start storing musical instruments? Like, oh yes, here are some people moving musical instruments around. See, you're carrying a timeba. What is a timeba, you may ask? The timeba is a large, handheld, closed cylindrical wooden wind instrument. The musician blows across the end hole. The musician selects the pitch by stopping holes. The instrument has a 3-octave range, going from very low to a middle pitch. At all pitches, the instrument has a focused vibrating timbre. It has 3 registers, and so on. I feel that the details of the precise noises that your instrument makes is possibly not very relevant, but a kind of sounds like a large wooden ocarina, broadly speaking. Another additional member of the fortress. Excellent. 2 children born just after we lost five citizens to various unhappinesses. What other musical instruments might we be moving around? What are you carrying? You're carrying a malatha. A malatha made of with a yoke of fingerlime wood and a sound chest of citron wood and kenaf strings. A small handheld cloth-stringed instrument with a wooden yoke and a wooden body. Strings are suspended from the yoke down to the body, and the musician plucks the 8 main strings. 4 drone strings are occasionally plucked. Tuning is accomplished by pegs. Has a 4-octave range going from mid-low to very high. Testry, we've seen lots of testry. Testry is a mid-sized handheld percussion instrument consisting of a bone ring which the musician scrapes with a bone hammer. And it only makes has a single pitch. What a strange instrument. Made out of wolf bone and ostrich bone. So another testry. No, that's a zugot. A long-nosed garbone zugot, encircled with bands of well-crafted goosebone. The blowpipe is made from crystal glass. The wind chest is made from long-nosed garbone. The pipe is made from earthenware, but what is it? I don't know. It menaces with spikes of well-crafted black bear tooth, though. And on the image of item is an image of a cotton plant in gold opal. I think I got this one from some dwarves. The zugot is a mid-sized handheld bone wind instrument consisting of a central wind chest and 5 cylindrical ceramic pipes fitted with free reeds. The musician selects the pitch by pressing keys to stop holes. The instrument has a 3.5 octave range going from middle to a very high pitch. So if you blow into it, do you think? I suppose it's a rigid wind chest, isn't it? So yes, I think you must. Yes, it has a blowpipe, right. And then 5 cylindrical ceramic pipes fitted with 3 reeds. What a strange object. How about a kamaba? We've got every kind of musical instrument here, haven't we? Kamaba, this one being made from coconut palm with a sound chest of guava wood and cotton strings. The kamaba is a small handheld cloth-stringed instrument with wooden yoke and wooden body. The strings are suspended from the yoke down to the body, and the musician plucks the 12 strings. Tuning is accomplished by pegs. Tuning is also possible using small levers. So does that mean, I suppose it's got 12 strings plus the ability to vary them with levers, which possibly gets you like a semitone on each string or something. Um, but quite how you achieve a 4-octave range on that, I don't know. It has a steady, strong wobbling timbre. I'm not quite sure you can be steady and wobbling. Meanwhile, the caravan guards are still busy getting into fights with the wildlife. Please don't annoy the wildlife. Actually, I don't think attacking the wildlife does actually annoy it, curiously. Right, let's ask the broker to come and visit the depot. We might see if interesting musical things start happening in the temples now that we have like musical instruments there. Possibly we need to appoint some musicians as well. Is there a role for like a temple musician or something? Right, yes, there are performers. Possibly I should like check the religion of people before I right. Simon and SGT and Seb suggest that they're like violins, the two tuning mechanisms, a peg for getting mostly in tune, and then a fine tuning knob for faffing with the last half semitone, or a peg, or as Seb puts it, a peg for swearing at, and a fine tuner for actually tuning it. Right, what have they brought with them then? Is there anything here we actually want? I mean, you've got some quite expensive gems, which we could decorate things with, which might make them more valuable. We have plenty of that kind of stuff. You've brought some glass, you've brought some clay, brought some rope, quite a lot of rope, surprisingly much rope. Don't know if we've got an Isis or a Luto yet. Let's gratuitously keep buying musical instruments. Pretty sure we've got a throsh though, several testry. Ooh, you've brought an eagle, have you? Oh, dogs, we'll buy your dogs. We'll buy all the dogs you can bring. Especially female ones. We'll also buy your booze because it's probably... Oops, that was the wrong button. That doesn't select all of them, that's unhelpful. No, actually, honeybee venom is not a kind of booze. Neither is reindeer milk. Curiously, the humans now bring dwarf-sized clothing, which is just weird. But there's not much point because the elves and the goblins also bring dwarf-sized clothing and they don't make us pay for it. Well, except in crossbow bolts. Well, we'll buy a jellyfish just for variety. Maybe there's someone in this place who wants to eat jellyfish. Red trout, go on trout. I'm tempted by the trout. I mean, we can brew turnips into booze, but we're actually all right for booze at the moment. Plus, you've already sold us some turnip flavoured booze. Cheese. See that button work properly? We'll buy all your cheese. We always buy all your cheese. Sadly, I think that kind of mortar is not the kind that throws explosive projectiles at the enemies. Don't know what that scroll is, but we'll have it. I wonder if these codices are interesting. Well, we'll buy them first and worry about it later. And we'll buy your parchment as well in case someone wants to like write a book or something. I haven't actually moved enough stuff here to buy all that. Okay. You can keep the books for now while I organise some more stuff. Isn't that enough profit for you? Am I going to have to remove some of the cheese from my requests in order to get you to accept this? How close are we to the boundary anyway? Quite a long way off, it looks like. I should have moved more stuff. Well, we'll do that for now. And move some more stuff. I was distracted by blithering about musical instruments. I'll have those because they're useless. Can't see what the point of that is. Usually I just shift a couple of bins full of clothes. Anything in stockpile 72 is fair game. Peekby says, I'm impressed one can distinguish the flavour of cheese. Distinguish from the flavour of cheese how many humps the camel has. Yes, yes, but I mean possibly the camels are different in other ways too. Right, we'll just haul a couple of bins full of clothes to the... Here's someone filing some more clothes. Right, here we have someone hauling a bin. Oh, what are you doing? Not you. Ava's Prairie Urns is telling a story in the Temple of Church of Skies. There is only one other person in there who is listening to the story, though. Excellent. Though apparently neither of them actually has much by way of opinions about this story. It's just happening. There is now a discussion on IRC about the way that in Dwarf Fortress you can distinguish the different species' blood after a battle, and Jitten suggests that this might be like anime hair and that it's all different colours. Well, some of it is because trolls have green blood, or cyan blood, and some insects have clear blood. Right, we now have a bin full of clothes here, which would... I mean, I am slightly tempted just to say, look, just take the whole bin. Like, it's far too much, but it's convenient. Rather take one whole bin. Apparently, I've brought several more if I need them. So what am I doing? I'm adding things at this end of the list, aren't I? I feel sure that chromite is not the kind of thing you want to be making food storage items out of. So that's an excessive amount of profit, but hey, we get plenty from these, plenty of goblinite, or in extreme cases elfite, so have the profit. Is there anything in? Oh yes, I was going to have a quick look at our supplies of splints and crutches. You only have 4 splints there. Maybe we should buy a splint or 2. I mean, we mostly... Are we okay for plaster in there? No, we have no plaster. Okay, we should get some more plaster, but we should also get some... We should also quickly buy, since they brought some splints, save ourselves the hassle of making them. Where are the splints? No, that's not a splint, that's a useless large gem. Somewhere in here there are the splints. There they are. Let's just buy all their splints. Apparently the storytelling has stopped. So where are you praying to Annan the White? Do I need a... do I need some temples for these? I'm doing it in the generic temple, so yes. So cheese, we can see cheese, people carrying cheese around and people carrying fruit around. Possibly I should start finding people who haven't done anything creative for a while and helping them. Oh yes, one of the changes in this, this is a new version of Dwarf Fortress that I'm running, 53.16, and one of the changes, in addition to things like tavern goers will no longer order a drink from every single tavern keeper in the bar and drink them all, causing them to die of acute alcohol poisoning. There's also disabled the be with family deed until isolated residents have ways to visit or be visited by or contact distant family. So people won't, I think, get unhappy from not having seen their family if there is no practical way for their family to visit them, which doesn't seem quite right, but Pink Beast says, so now your vampires won't be so miserable. Yes, well, we wouldn't want them brooding, would we? So you mostly want to make romance, which yes, we do seem to, some of the unhappier dwarves seem to have fairly seriously cheered up quite recently. Was that today? Excuse me while I sneakily wind back time in my preview of the stream. Okay, yes. So we were at 310 at the unhappy end at the beginning of today's stream. Now, I don't think it was ever 831. It was 8310. So we've gone from 310 to 400, which is only one dwarf getting slightly happier. But it's still nice. So, oh look, it's a lion. Look, there's a lion on the stairs. I wonder. Should we have like a sort of hack space here where there's a thing, Craft Dwarf's workshop, that's deliberately for everyone to use, because I keep, or rather that in particular I can assign different people to as I notice they're unhappy without repeatedly taking this one on and off, and without it having to depend on this one being this one's kind of rather complicated tangle of things that are attached to it. I think that's a good plan. It should probably be on this level somewhere, but I am slightly going, it's kind of crowded now. You could put it there. No, we might want to put more levers in there. I suppose we could put it there until we want to put in more levers. Yes, we're quite happy, dear Kias, with you nicking some of the arrows. Oh yes, I want to put a hatch cover on there, don't I? For safety. And to pause that rubbish dump. And to dispose of that Kia corpse which someone has left lying around outside. Probably our visiting humans, terribly untidy creatures, humans. So then we can link very red Craft Dwarf's workshop, which is I suppose what I get for making it out of bauxite. That then wants to be linked. Cannot link to Kimberlite floor hatch because it wasn't built yet. Right, let's try that again. So now our least happy dwarf. Our least happy dwarf is technically soldiering, but they do want to craft an object and be creative. But let's take the second least happy dwarf and see if they're any easier to deal with. Well, they're asleep. How about you, Lorbam Fathfash? Are you busy shouting at someone again? Yes. You really need to craft an object, right? So what I will do is I will say that you are you are the one who is allowed to use that. Oh, we should reconfigure. One of our problems here is that all of our siege operators are exclusively siege operating, and that's not actually helpful. Indeed, the ones who are legendary probably don't need to operate siege engines at all. Those are the only two who need to be practicing. Anyway, so now Lawman Fathfash is meant to be there, so then we can say Lawbam, maybe you can find some bone and make whatever you feel like making out of it. Oh, except that bone carver is a restricted profession, isn't it? Or maybe bone carver shouldn't be a restricted profession. It isn't, actually. It's set to everyone does this. So now, all being well, Lawbam, once they've finished attending this meeting, which involves working out where the mayor is, yelling at the mayor, who has now decided to go and load a weapon trap instead of engaging in a craft. Because they're a engineer. And unfortunately, loading weapon traps is an intensely tedious operation. It's very slow. And you end up loading one arrow at a time very slowly. Much slower than loading a bolt thrower. I think possibly I shouldn't have bothered putting... But it's quite a cheering place to be down here. All these interesting traps. And this is probably getting a nice amount of mechanics practice in. The key is the stealing things again. Right, and now Lawbam Fathfash is going off. He's uneasy after being unable to craft something and bored after being unable to practice a craft, which curiously are different needs. But has now grabbed some bone and taken it off to the open to everyone. Well, to the cheering Craftsdwarf's workshop, whose purpose is to stop people being unhappy at having not crafted anything for a while. He has no skills in bone carving at all, but there we go. I wish to make something. It's boring. Okay. But is now feeling much more focused, which might help. Who knows? Still trying to attend a meeting with the mayor, though. Assuming the mayor can be located. Okay, maybe he wasn't attending a meeting with the mayor because there was no one purple in that room. So my hope is that that kind of thing will help with they've stolen a masterwork crossbow bolt, the annoying birds. The fortress attracted no migrants this season. Have we accidentally got a prisoner of war somewhere? Because that was what broke it in Keskalokil. Someone else has been added to the list of somewhat unhappy dwarves now. Okay, Minkot Zonendok also would like to craft a thing. Are they any good at anything? Nope. Provisioned organiser, useless at everything else. Well, bone is what we have. And like our last guy managed to make a pretty decent leopard bone figurine of dwarves, relating to the foundation of glaze rings by the Knives of Rising of the noble work. Oh, we've probably just gained some cages that we want to open, haven't we? We have far too many cages. Right, there is an eagle and a dog in nickel. Was there anything else we bought? Apparently have a giant rat cage. Well, let's investigate that. So what do we have down here anyway? That's a guild hall. That's a guild hall. That's... Hang on, that's a temple... Oh, that's a temple to the Doctrine of Skies called the Heavenly Sanctuary. Don't we have another temple to the Doctrine of Skies down up here? That's also a temple to the Doctrine of Skies called the Church of Skies. Why do we have two separate temples to the Doctrine of Skies? That's arguably too many. I mean, though they are both quite crowded. That's a Farmer's Guild Hall. Metalsmith Guild Hall. Craft Wars Guild Hall. So we do actually have one unallocated temple and two temples allocated to the same religion. That giant rat is not tame. Let's just remove that one and release it into the caverns. By allowing that cage to be stored down next to the pit for dropping things into the caverns. So if anyone wants a stray eagle, it can be your pet. The new dog should be trained for war. What's that space? That's a farmer's meeting place. I kind of feel we should try to fix up these temples a bit so that we don't have two separate temples to the same religion, really. That one's the more valuable one. So I think I'm going to cause this to cease being a temple. Can I do that? I think I do that just by removing the entire meeting hall, and then the temple doesn't exist anymore. Let's just check. That says 34 worshippers. Does the other one also say 34 worshippers? Yes, so I think they are attached to the same thing. And then, yes, the heavenly sanctuary is the one downstairs, yes. So that will now be a little less organizationally weird. So that one, we should probably actually appoint some people to the necessary roles. I don't know. Let's choose someone who's probably not doing an important thing. Fath Esis Ubul. What do those mean? Oh, that means you're also a performer. You're a performer here. Oops. Oh well, I hope that message wasn't important. Right, you're a performer for the Church of Skies in addition to being the Holy Flyer. And we can indeed make you explicitly a performer here. They also want a high rain though. Well, let's choose someone more or less at random for that. So I mean, it's a rather crowded temple. Has a 2x3 dance floor, which does rather limit the kinds of dancing you can do in there. Excellent, more puppies. We are slowly breeding a new generation of hounds. These days, dwarven childs grow up at like 16 or 18, and yes, thus it takes a while for them to turn into useful people. Why do you say one assigned? There was clearly two of you. There is a lot of meditating on the sky going on, which is probably good. But like possibly we also need some, I kind of feel we might need more specific temples. And if we're going to have dancing going on, we might need bigger temples as well. I wonder what we could do about that in order to be like sensibly organised about it. Oh, what's going on here? We're out of lye. We should possibly thus cancel any remaining attempts at making soap. And accept that the lye has run out. Right, the booze situation is now good. Oh yes, we were making new bedrooms down here, but it may be slightly less necessary than it was now that we have slightly fewer people, but they are all having children, so it might change. We do have a decent number of porcelain bricks now, so we could pave some more bedrooms with them. Probably best to start with the ones that are actually bedrooms already. I mean, I assume that's someone's bedroom. Yes. You would like to be creative, you'd like to wander as well, but I mean, we could appoint you as a messenger, I suppose. Kivish, would you like to be a messenger? Do you think that will help with your wandering? Being second messenger gets you a really good cloak. Why do I not have a search button here? Might also deal with your need to acquire an object if you acquire the cloak of the second messenger. Good night, Seb. So you've gone and yelled at the priest, which has helped. You've now acquired... You feel pleasure after putting on a truly splendid object, which is nice. I mean, it is a splendid object. But you still have an unmet need to acquire object. That's annoying. Apparently there's a forgotten, a strange mood underway. I presume no, you're planting rock nuts. Why are we growing rock nuts? Thank you. You have gained an artifact silver short sword with the slightly alarming name of the Whole of Romances. This is a silver short sword. It's not a very exciting one, really. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encircled with bands of silver. This object is adorned with hanging rings of durian wood and menaces with spikes of reindeer bone. Well, that's nice. It's probably worth equipping someone with it. I don't know that we really have people who have swords. Oh well, I'm sure you can learn to use a sword. Hang on, who was that I did that to? I think none of them. Okay, we'll make it the last one. Try to actually save it this time. Now we'll probably actually fire you. No, it was Merle, wasn't it? We would ideally then find a swords dwarf. We apparently have no swords dwarfs available. Okay, well, you'll stay there then. We should probably try to fill up the rest of this squad, though. So no one really knows what they're doing, apparently. What's that squad up to anyway? They are in a sensible staggered training regime. Right. Okay, someone has got less happy. My messenger was experienced trauma. What? Were they remembering experiencing trauma? Oh, reliving experiencing trauma, right. So you definitely got the bonus for an item, but you don't get any bonus for any like change of your needing to acquire an item status. Oh well, anyway, we're going to send you off a wandering. We will send you to Princess Books. All right, we can ask you to improve trade. Hang on, who is it who we're meant to be sending? Kivish. Is there anywhere we don't have trade relations with? Surely we have trade relations with Tin, yes. With the kingdoms of Tin. We have trade relations with the Orbs of Yore. Not in contact, okay. Kivish. Make contact. So my kind of hope is that thus that going off to Wheel Dweller will deal with Kivish's unmet need to wander. Might not, she might still come back unhappy, but I can but hope. Off she goes. Excellent, someone has been adopted by a cat. Well, that's one way to at least temporarily deal with our least happy dwarf. Right, Erib Lel Gasibrek needs to craft an item. No. Just see if Lel Gasibrek is any good at anything. Probably not. Nope. I mean, I suppose, now I think of it, don't we actually want to get people weaponsmith skills? If they have no moodable skill at all, we should probably try to turn them into weaponsmiths. Because that way they'll make weapons rather than, I mean, or armor smiths. Because that way they'll make useful things. Won't try to fix it now. Let's. But yes, there might be. But the problem is that requires like using useful materials and such. So will you now decide that you want to go and craft an object? No. Why do we keep the rock nuts outside? Or maybe we don't. Because if we do, okay, you found some rock nuts there this time. Now are you going off to fetch some rock nuts? No, because you've changed your mind and come back to harvest something instead. And now you're going to attend a meeting. We should investigate that in a bit. I'm still wanting to know where you're getting your seeds from. And whether we are actually storing rock nuts all the way out here, which is obviously incorrect. But you never actually get as far as collecting them from out there, so... Your life would be a lot better if you actually went and carved some bones. Rather than spending all your time at meetings. Anyway. Well, let's try explicitly saying this is an important bit of bone carving, go and do it. So, Kivish Ekastunib, the messenger, has returned. In the midsummer of 135, the noble work made contact with the orbs of yore at Wheel Dweller. The dwarf Kiliv Save Drag of the noble work met with the dwarf Mulash Fat Breeches, mayor of the closed intense bell, representing the orbs of yore, to make contact and open trade. Kivish Save Drag began to argue persuasively. Mulash Fat Breeches made a persuasive argument of their own, but was ultimately swayed. The proposal succeeded. And Kivish no longer has a need to wander. Excellent. Needs to be creative still. But we have a higher priority creative requirement at the moment. From Ereb. Who is now going off to be creative, which should help. Should reduce the amount of boredom. Maybe we need a tavern for people to make merry in. Right, yes, so that has immediately vanished from there. Pinkbee says, warning, making merry may contain traces of lethal alcohol poisoning. Substantially fewer than it used to. Excellent, more puppies. Like, many of the fixes in this release of Dwarf Fortress are stop people suffering from fatal alcohol poisoning. So, I mean, we could just declare this dining room to also be a tavern. I think we can do that. It's called the Dumpling of Fortifying. Right, so if we're going to do that, it needs its own stock of goblets. I mean, if taverns are only for drinking, maybe we don't do it like that. Maybe we put it in the... I'm going to quickly look up tavern on the wiki. Because, like, if they're all about drinking, then obviously we want to have it in our booze stockpile. There are meals as well. So it looks like we want a chest in the tavern which will contain the mugs in there. Right, sorry, just reading. Right, yes, I think we should make, since taverns need a slightly different arrangement from the way we store goblets upstairs, I think this should be the tavern. And then we want to put a couple of chests in there for storing goblets in. And I appreciate we probably only actually need one, but it feels asymmetric to have one. And then it will also get musical instruments as well. So Kivish is still... All right, you now want to be creative, right? Okay, we can fix that. We don't have an official tavern keeper, but it may be that it'll be fine without. Lots of people appear to be listening to a story in the tavern anyway, which is obviously the right thing to be doing in a tavern. What was I curious about? Do we know anything about these stories, I wonder? Oh, I think the story may have finished. No, there it is. All right. We are listening to the story of how in the mid-autumn of 133, the dwarf Iton fortress problems became captain of the guard of the incidental fortification. What an exciting story. Okay, we might be short of bags. Is that why we have no... have we stuffed all of our bags with seeds so that we have no spares? Yeah, we should do it as a work order, shouldn't we? Let's just make some leather bags in order to have something to store plaster in. I mean, I presume we do have, yes. Oh, the stock, no, the problem isn't that we lack bags. The problem is that the stockpile is full of the wrong kinds of bags. They're not empty. So we have, this is just set to bags. It's not like it has an empty bags setting. But all of the bags we have here are full of seeds, which isn't helpful. I mean, we could try allowing bins in the stockpile, just in the hopes that that way we can get more bags in there, some of which might be empty, though it's not really a very helpful approach. There is a lot of socialising going on, but that's probably good. Ah, you're pondering reproductive behaviour, are you? Okay. Why are you two at the very bottom of the list, I wonder? Like below the babies. Don't think you're new arrivals. I mean, eating a good meal shouldn't be a difficult thing to achieve, really. We have plenty of good meals available. Okay, Mintok Zonendok also wishes to be a messenger, it looks like. So let's give them a chance to get their official robe on, which will presumably happen after the story has been told. Right, the Forgotten Beast Sinity has come. An enormous waxwing with external ribs. It has large mandibles and it has a gaunt appearance. Beware its poisonous sting. I mean, I don't think a poisonous sting is going to be a big problem compared to deadly dust. I think it's just spotted a Draltha though. Oh no, hang on, where is it? Surely, oh, it's there, yes, that big capital W. That seems fairly dangerous. I mean, you will end up being stung, but possibly you'll die of something else first. So, let us... Have we actually put any new dogs in the lower Barbican? I don't think we have. Not least because they're kind of valuable. Maybe we should put something else down there. Maybe we should like use kittens instead. We don't have any kittens because we gelded all of our male cats. We're going to need to buy an entire male cat at some point to breed some more. You've abandoned that wheelbarrow there, good. We should doubtless get our siege operators into a sensible setup. Now, I'm not certain, is there anyone else who might be moving rock around? No, probably not. Might be some people moving things around to bins, it's unclear. Because we can't tell what bin they're going to put things in, annoyingly. You're not in the caverns anyway. Cadol. And Eton. None of you is in the caverns, so I think that probably means the caverns are empty of dwarves. We do have at least one dwarf staffing a bolt thrower. Is at least a slightly injured Forgotten Beast. Where are you going, Forgotten Beast? Are you heading towards our fortress? I mean, you might not be because I've closed the door. So you might not realise you can get in. Also, yes, it is slightly alarming that you can fly, even though you are a waxwing. Right, so are we going to wait for that? I think it's just faffing at the moment. I think we want to kill it quickly with bolt throwers if we can, and we do have 2 people ready to take it on. Let's open that entrance. And then we should be able to see the Forgotten Beast go, aha, I should be inside that fortress. Yeah, that's heading towards the entrance fairly vigorously. And then flying away again. Well, it got shot a lot. It has 1 iron bolt stuck in it. It is heavily bleeding and seriously injured, but has technically made it past the bolt throwers without actually dying yet. I hope it'll run out of blood before it gets deeply inside the fortress, but let's try to shut it out. And let's also summon some reasonably competent dwarves to catch it if it gets in. So I'm now single stepping time. This is why we try not to do this by this means. The bleeding is slowing. Right, here comes our first military dwarf in the area, who is presented with an injured Forgotten Beast. The slight problem that a mace is like going to be a bit of a slow thing to use. Okay, that's not a bad start. I mean, admittedly, if it keeps missing like this, we'll probably be okay. I think the bolt throwers did a pretty decent job of weakening this thing, but it has found this unarmoured clerk and is managing to wrestle the clerk. But various but our others are our mace lord is doing a pretty decent job of hitting this thing repeatedly. Maybe someone else will turn up to help in a moment. Yes. Someone has turned up with a named weapon. Though that's not what you should be doing as an axe dwarf. Right, yes, cleaving us under a rib, possibly helpful. I think we have a mace lord with a steel battle axe. Well, I'm sure you'll get better at it. SGT points out the Forgotten Beast doesn't seem to have attacked with its poisonous sting. Yes, that's a good point. It doesn't seem to have a notable any note saying that it doesn't have a sting. I mean, it's possible one of its other injuries has removed its sting as well. But yes, it hasn't stung anyone for a while. I mean, to be fair, it's mostly missing now, even against the unarmed enemies. And now it's had its head. Now it's been beheaded. Right. So there were some injuries there. We're going to probably have a want to nip up to the hospital and see how people are getting on. Oh, is that foot still airborne? Maybe. Which is why I can't mark it for dumping just yet. Yes. Yes, you got rather beaten up there. And now that foot falls onto the next Z level, maybe now I can do something with it. Right. Now that it's landed, we can mark it for dumping. You somehow managed to separate the creature's neck from everything else. Possibly, I think that may be neck and head. So we haven't yet actually closed the drawbridge we were trying to close. No one has, in fact, pulled the lever yet, so we'll just cancel that request to pull the lever and allow our people back out of the fortress again. Yes, so Moses Likot Edem has been injured and is obviously going to have to go to hospital for that. Moses Inkiki, which seems like a good name for a clerk. Don't worry, you'll be fine. So we might set you to work crafting some things to cheer you up. So meanwhile, we had just appointed Minkot as a messenger, and they've now cheered up. But you still want to wander, so Minkot. Who haven't we? Are there any civilizations around we haven't talked to? What on earth? The ever-seeing turquoise of autumn? Minkot, go and visit the ever-seeing turquoise of autumn. Oh, Simon has gone to bed as well. Well, it's only 11:30. Rather early. Plus, like, I'm not going to work tomorrow morning. Right, we are working on healing this poor person. You do get cleaned with the best soap here. Sadly, being unconscious, you don't get to enjoy it properly. Right, dressed, elbow set, and now you're going off boozing. Right, good. Now someone will clean the blood off the floor. Hope someone will also go down into the that staircase and clean up some of the blood. Yes, well, this level at least has been cleaned now. This level still could do with a bit of cleaning up because Moses Inkiki did leave quite a lot of blood lying around behind them. Oh, and we can release the siege operators as well. Or at least, once they've reloaded the bolt throwers, we can release them. Obviously, it's important that the bolt throwers should actually be filled up. Right, bolt throwers reloaded. Now we can release the legendary siege operators to have fun and let the non-legendary ones practice. Right, well, apart from a requirement to acquire object, you're doing pretty well. I think we mostly just need you to investigate that a moment. Do more enjoyable things. You're satisfied remembering teaching biting. I mean, your memories don't look very bad. I hope you'll get better. I'm a little worried if we've got a cave crocodile down here, though. We have. Cave crocodiles are a bit scary. Huge predatory reptiles. I think those are like dangerous things to have down in your caverns. Not so dangerous that we have to retreat everyone back to the fortress. Maybe we should, though. How many cave crocodiles, anyway? Only one. And they are probably trappable, so I'm actually tempted to trap it. Not just because we might be able to tame it. Yes, I recommend Rith that you head back into the fortress. Meanwhile, Minkop's on then, Doc. Messenger has returned. In the late summer of 135, the noble work made contact with the ever-seeing turquoise of autumn at Worked Crimson. The dwarf Minkot Helmsatix of the noble work met with the dwarf Erush Trusted Portals, master of the speechless ships, representing the ever-seeing turquoise of autumn, to make contact and open trade. Minkot Helmsatix began to intimidate their adversary. Erush Trusted Portals made a persuasive argument, but was ultimately swayed. The proposal succeeded. Why is everyone disinclined to trade? Like, surely it's good for all of us. Okay, where is Minkot in my list now? Maybe they haven't quite returned yet. I mean, if the cave crocodile stays in the caverns, I might not worry very much. But it does kind of limit where we can go. And of course, if the dwarf in the caverns declines to return to the fortress, then this may just get awkward. I mean, they does seem to be quite a scared crocodile, so maybe it'll just leave the map. But I would like it to get into a cage trap so that we can tame it, because cave crocodiles are quite scary. And obviously we should try to establish a breeding program of cave crocodiles. Well, I'm sure something will happen down there, and we'll find out about it when it does. Okay, Minkot Zonendok hasn't actually come back yet. Which is good for our average happiness. So the really unhappy ones are now Kirvish and Erib. It looks like Erib mostly wants to do nothing for a bit. Oh, go into the buttery brunch then, Erib. That will give you a chance to relax. Again, that doesn't fix putting on military garb doesn't appear to fix the need to acquire objects either. Right, my hope is that now you can have a pleasant time, maybe make some merry, maybe take it easy, and maybe have some excitement even, who knows. Oh, you can pray to his egg, that'll make you happier. Well, I was hoping that would make you happier, but you've switched to meditating on the rain and not lost your unmet need to pray to his egg. Which worries me a bit. We've reached another year of the life of this fortress. Oh, look at our booze level. That's quite a nice quantity of booze to have in the fortress. At least if it's not all the same kind of thing. Also, unhappy dwarves at now 110, but we might possibly be missing one still. Look, you spent a short while praying to his egg. Why are you still uneasy about being unable to pray to his egg? Do we need to give you a proper temple to his egg somewhere? Because you can't pray properly in this shared temple. What? Why are there airborne cats? I'm very confused by this cat. So I'm not surprised you're experiencing mortal fear. I mean, I can't quite see what's happened here. The tavern is maybe a bit rowdier than it used to be, but that doesn't really explain why a cat suddenly came crashing down the stairs. So the cave crocodile doesn't currently seem to be very dangerous, but it's also not leaving, which is inconvenient. Oh yes, we've now finished digging out that, removing the jades from there. So we can fill in that wall so as to make this bedroom a little bit less damp. There we go. And actually what we could do is pave some of the floor as well. Which will remove the water and also the blood and the mud, and just generally make it into a nicer bedroom really. Suppose we could then move the bed to the other side of the room. In theory we can move the cabinet, but it is full of old clothes. And the neat thing is that now that the bedroom isn't tied to the Olon Erith, isn't the thing that the room is built around, I think we can actually dismantle that bed and it's still the same person's bedroom. They just don't have a bed in it at the moment. So then we could actually just put some nice flooring in that corner and then put the bed back. No, drop the bed. Don't go hauling it away, that's not helpful. And then we can unforbid that bed and put it back. So actually it's not a very good bed. Like, why on earth are we using that bed? Don't put that bed there. Let's put a good bed in this bedroom. Take that one away to the blingery to be reblung. That's a much better bed. You know, it's covered in white chalcedonies and square cut citrines and briolette cut yellow zircons and spikes of lead and silver and morganite. An image of an octahedron in cave dragon bone and an image of a human and a cave dragon in platinum. And so forth. Then we could also remove that cabinet and put some floor underneath that. It is at least reasonably valuable, so maybe we don't mind. It is muddy underneath it at the moment. Problem is, if we remove this, all those clothes will end up scattered all over the floor. But their owners should come and put them back. That does tend to be quite quick. Boom. Please drop that cabinet, we're going to want it soon. So yes, there's a big pile of clothes lying around this bedroom now while we put a proper floor in. So we have to clear away the clothes from the puddle. Now the floor's been installed, so now we can unforbid that cabinet. And put it back. Right, that's a little bit of bedroom renovation done. Actually, I think while we're down here, we should start smoothing the walls a bit. And whatever floors we can get at. assume that's part of that bedroom, yes. So this will probably cause everyone to be grumpy about how, oh look, putting all the items back into the cabinet again, at least trying to. All right, do we actually have, no we don't. I was hoping that this stockpile would have some empty bags in. But apparently not. We are on Erith is slowly putting all of their crap back in their cupboard. This is why we have to keep a reasonably short distance between everywhere else and the bedrooms, because people will keep nipping back to their bedroom in between doing useful things. A caravan from Ilusonget Thathil has arrived. It's early autumn, yes, the dwarf caravans are going to be turning up. Your status as a minor land has attracted a bit more trade than usual. However, overall trade sentiments are cautious. Well, if you've brought dogs, we'll buy them. If you've brought cheese, we'll probably buy that, though we're quite well off for food. In return, you get some of our goblinite. A caravan from Tekud Basen has arrived. Your status as a minor land has attracted a bit more trade as usual. Trade relations remain strengthened by recent negotiations. Overall trade sentiments are fantastic. That seems suspicious. When people say, it's such a pleasant place you've carved out for yourself, as though they're about to suggest that maybe you need to pay more for insurance. Right, we have other diplomats and such turning up, presumably to actually start making trade agreements. Well, what do we want? Usually lie. Another caravan from Rithal Dusim has arrived. Overall trade sentiments are lukewarm. Right. Yes, we really do need like a car park. There's now 4 wagons piled on top of one another in here, in the main entrance to the fortress. And here comes another. A caravan from Babok Okang has arrived. I recommend that you guys start trading with one another. Oh, there's a new kind of musical instrument. No, horse, goat, duck and donkey do not provide us with anything useful. We will, as usual, buy all your booze and all your cheese, though. Even if there's not much of either. Maybe a nice steel shield? Go on. Jeez. Might be too much profit. That looks about right, though. Please just take this entire bin full of goblinite. You're still unloading. You're still unloading. Oh, Steph is going to bed too. I should probably stop soon. But, like, the trading is not going to be very exciting, so... Especially if everyone keeps just unloading. Well, let's see what you have to talk to us about. Nothing. How about you? I'm your liaison from the mountain homes. Right. The world is the same as ever. What would we like? We already get enough cheese. Cages, we don't care what the cage is made of. We care what's in it. Can we ask for animals? Like, the detail with which we can ask for things here is not always helpful. Pets. Excellent. We would like dogs, both sexes. We don't currently have anything more exciting than dogs, so that will have to do. We would generally like miscellaneous lye. We probably want to keep buying a quantity of cloth, don't we? As you can only supply us with yarn cloth, let's also say we'll have cloth. We might choose not to buy it. Okay, Pink Bees would like more cheese. There you go. Right. Yeah, we never pay any attention to what you guys want. Much too complicated. There is a slight danger that my fortress will end up consuming almost entirely cheese. I think we need to move more items to the trade depot. Because we have got quite a lot of caravans here. That'll probably do. Right, you're ready. Greetings from the mountain homes. You haven't brought any good animals either. I've brought some rum though, and we'll generally take your lie. Buy some cloth, so simply so that we have it. Those might be nice. Don't know. Cheese. Splints, because we were a bit short of them. Oh, scrolls. Codex. Spare parchment. Okay, well, that might be a bit excessive. Let's not be quite that generous. In particular, let's preferentially try to give away... I was going to say let's try to give away the things that the elves won't want, but I reckon we must have got this lot mostly from elves. I should check up on silk at some point. Do you think tiger leather trousers are stripy? Still not enough. I mean, admittedly, we do seem to have quite a lot of things that the elves would be happy with here, which is a bit strange. Like, I may actually have to start selling known elf-compatible substances, materials, in order to make the necessary numbers, yes. That's weird. Actually, I should preferentially sell the damaged items, shouldn't I? Because the undamaged ones are likely to be more popular with the my dwarves as like useful articles of clothing. Yeah, maybe I was overly pessimistic about, or overly optimistic about how much profit they were going to want. some point soon I'm just going to hit the trade button and see what they make of it. Let them choose what they want me to add. Well, I got away with that. We need the other items to arrive. Right, trading. Do you have anything we want? You have various kinds of musical instrument we haven't heard of before. We always like those. We have a wide variety of animals, none of which is the dogs that we would really like some of. I've brought a decent amount of booze at least. Well, some. This is our proper mountain home, shipping us vast quantities of dull booze. But we'll have a steel battle axe, that's quite nice. Not sure we really need steel picks, mind. It's a very nice pair of shoes. Got one. Hope we've got enough stuff to sell you. I mean, to be fair, we don't actually need spectacular furniture or anything. Could buy some empty bags, but I don't think we have a shortage of empty bags. I think we have a shortage of organisation. How much cheese have you brought? Is it going to be an immense amount? Given you how much other stuff you've brought with you. That's quite a bit of cheese, yes. Probably got enough splints now, but well, that's a lot of spare parchment and a lot of codices. And a lot of scrolls. Possibly we don't need that many. I don't know that we brought that much stuff. Actually, we did bring quite a lot of stuff. See, no problem. We might actually want that much profit. Oh, go on. Oh, I randomly gave you a great treasure. Oh well. We're going to need more stuff. Right, requested some more bins full of valuable items because there's still at least one batch of dwarves here we haven't traded with. So yes, we do appear to have accidentally sold the last lot an artefact, but that's fine. I think these are the ones we haven't done yet. Greetings from our mountain halls to yours. Let us strengthen our bonds in trade. You've brought a dog. Excellent, we'll have that. Steel Warhammer's not that good. Steel isn't really a good... The benefits of steel are not really felt in Warhammers. I reckon we've got enough splints now. Okay, you haven't brought us that much stuff really. Right, I think that's probably enough trading. We almost certainly now have far too much parchment. We'll release the broker. Where's our messenger got to? Minkot Zonendok is still, in theory, travelling, even though I thought they'd returned home. Oh well, they wanted to wander, maybe they're just wandering. So we now only have one even slightly unhappy dwarf, and they also want to wander, and I'm not sure I want to let them, given the last one is the last person who wandered hasn't come home yet. So I think for now we will not attempt to fix our one marginally unhappy dwarf. Instead, we will say it's 20 past midnight, we finished trading, so I think now is an excellent time to go to bed. So I will save and say good night, if I can find the screen with the good night on it. There it is. Good night.